Good evening, everyone. Thanks again for stopping in. Tonight we're going to do another opening of some baseball cards. Have added a few more to the selection here. This is probably going to be the only time I'm going to open up all of them at the same time. So try to spread them out a little bit more. But so this will be one of our longer videos tonight. Starting off left to right, do have them kind of sort of what I expect to be the better packs here. We have a 1991 Studio, 1990 Donruss, 1993 Upper Deck Series 1, 1988 Topps, and then 1992 Studio. So not expecting to see too much value there, but still hoping to see some pretty fun names there and some cool cards. All right, in our next stack, I do have 1989 Score, 1990 Upper Deck High Numbers, 1991 Score Series 1, and 1990 Fleer. And then in our third stack, we have 1994 Collector's Choice Series 1. This is a new box that I just opened up here. I haven't had any of these series yet. Followed by 1990 Score, 1988 Donruss, and 1990 Topps, followed by 1988 Fleer. And then our fourth stack, we have back to 1994, this time Series 2 for Collector's Choice, 1990 Leaf Series 1, 1990 Bowman, 1991 Upper Deck, Find the Nolan with a Michael Jordan SP1 potential, and then 1989 Bowman. And then in our last tier, start off with 1989 Donruss, 1991 Bowman, new pack that I'm extremely excited about, 1986 Donruss. I've never opened up any of these packs here. Only owned a handful of these cards. Never a Canseco or McGriff. So I'm excited about this box. Hopeful that we'll get multiples of both of them. And then in our final pack, 1989 Fleer. This is an error box, so there is the potential, if we find a Bill Ripken, it is going to be the F-face error. Normally, I do not put this in the higher tier. However, I did open up a Alex Rodriguez rookie out of this series earlier, and then I did pull a Ken Griffey Jr. out of 89 Bowman. So I went ahead and lowered those because the chances of pulling a second Griffey or a Rod is lower. So even though I have horrible luck with the 89 Donruss, I went ahead and put that there with the hope that we'll get a Griffey rookie. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with 91 Studio. And we start off with Terry Pendleton, looking kind of ticked off, to be honest with you. Roger McDowell, looking like he's about ready to go to wax on, wax off in the Karate Kid. Mark Grace. Spanky LaValliere. Billy Hatcher. Bob Welch. Mark Whitten. And Harold Reynolds, looking like there's a cute girl that he's glancing over at, followed by Alan Trammell and Turner Ward. So it's pretty neat photos there, nothing too great as far as value. All right, so now we're going to go with the 1990 Donruss. I still do not know why they made these packs so hard to open up, but unfortunately this pack, or the set, there's not a lot of reason to search the packs, but there was at the time when they first came out, so maybe that's the reason why they did it. All right, but we're going to start off. We have Mark Portugal, Doyle Alexander, Larry Anderson, Willie Frazier, Mark Parent, Chris Carpenter, Andy Hawkins, Keith Hernandez, Bill Bathe, Ruben Sierra All-Star. There is a variation with the line all the way through the star. I wish I could have gotten one of those. Darren Dalton, David Wells, Jose De Leon, Chris Bosio, Frank Viola, and Eric Davis Team MVP. So nothing great, but some pretty neat names out of that pack as well. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1993 Upper Deck. I've only opened up a handful of these in my life, so wasn't one of my favorite sets. But we'll see what we can find in here. So we can start off with Marquise Grissom, Dave Martinez, a dreaded checklist, followed by Jim Bullinger, Kevin Tapani, Brian Barnes, who grew up not too far away from where I am, Steve Finley, Sandy Alomar Jr., Mike Bordick, Felix Jose, Doug Jones trying to get some camcorder action in, Omar Oliveras, Lee Smith, and then one of the better cards in the set, Mike Piazza. Not his true rookie, but a very nice card. And then we have Kirby Puckett Community Heroes. So probably one of the best cards in the set with Mike Piazza. So that's definitely an exciting opening. And we're going to go with 1988 Topps. Not a lot in this set. We'll see what we can find here. Start off with Dave Smith, Tom Henke All-Star, Corey Snyder, Scott Bradley, Drew Hall, Steve Lyons, Wallace Johnson, Propaganda Piece, Dave Engel, Tony La Russa Manager Card, Tom Bolton, Donnie Moore, Dave Magadan, Mike Jackson, Bob Welch, and another checklist. So, nothing too outstanding there, but. And then our final card in stack number 1 is the 1992 Studio. And we're going to start off with Dave Stewart, Kurt Stillwell, Dave Valley, followed by Matt Williams, Paul Molitor, John Franco, Brian Harper, Steve Avery, John Olerud, Rick Sutcliffe, Mo Vaughn, and the Studio information card. Nothing too great, but some pretty cool names in there. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1988 score in our second stack here. Looking for Glavin rookies specifically, Matt Williams as well, and a few others. And we'll start off with Bill Doran, Vince Coleman, Bob Brindley, who grew up across the street from my mom, so that's a neat card for me. Lance Parrish, Dennis Boyd, Tracy Jones, Lee Guterman, Bill Dawley, Cecil Fielder, Don Carmen, John Christensen, Scott Gereltz, Steve Henderson, Charlie Moore, Craig Lefferts, Juan Agosto, and Bill Negro. So nothing too exciting in that one for most viewers. And we'll skip on over a year later to 1989 score. Looking for big unit rookie cards, Craig Biggio, and a few others. And we start off with Albert Hall, Jeff Treadway, Eddie Murray, Glenn Braggs, Charlie Liebrant. There's a Barry Bonds, one of the better cards in the set. Jack Howell, Bill Long, Chris Brown, Todd Benzinger, Fred Manrique, Bobby Witt, Tommy John, John Franco, Mike Greenwell, and Oral Hershiser. So a lot of pretty nice names in there. And moving on to 1990 Upper Deck, find the Reggie. Looking for the Reggie Jackson autograph among a few others. Nothing too outlandish in this set here, but we start off with another dreaded checklist. Joe Carter, Jeff Robinson, Dave Johnson, Chris Gwynn, Franklin Stubbs, Scott Rudinsky, Eric Gunderson, And we have a Houston Astros hologram. Rick Leach, Pete Harnish, Chris Sabo, Phil Bradley, Jack Howell, Mike Scott team checklist, and a Reggie non-autographed Heroes card. Not a bad pack, but not a great pack either. Alright, so let's go and we'll skip to 1990 Fleer. Again, not a great set here, a few pretty decent cards. And we're going to start off with a multi-team sticker card, followed by Kevin McReynolds, Cal Ripken Jr., which always makes it a good pack when you find a Cal, Darrell Hamilton, Pat Tabler, Frank Viola shows back up, Doug Jones, John Franco, George Brett, Ken Oberkfell, Rich Gedman, Mitch Williams, Dan Plesac, Jack Howell, Carmen Castillo, and Lloyd McClendon. So a few pretty big names there, so not a bad pack for that series. And then our final card in stack number 2, we're going to go with 1991 Score Series 1. Looking for my first Mike Mussina. I am getting close to running out of these packs. Still have not pulled a Mussina, so hopefully we'll get one in this pack or soon. We're going to start off with Mike Jackson, Greg Harris, Brett Saberhagen, John Franco, Rafael Valdez, Carl Tuffy Rhodes, Jeremy Burnett's draft pick. I had high expectations for that card. Lance Dixon, Steve Jeltz, Kevin Apier, Mike Hartley, Rob Deere, Dave West, Kenny Rogers, Jeff Brantley, and Paul Gibson. So some pretty neat names there for me. It is sad to pull the Dave West with him recently passing. But we'll keep moving on here. We're going to go over to our Collector's Choice Series 1 from 94. Doesn't really feel like these cards bricked together. I was very scared with cards from this era because they are very, very used to sticking together here. But we start off with Mark Newfield, Brian Anderson. These definitely are not sticking together here. And we have Jeff Conine with the Marlins expansion cards, Roberto Hernandez, Blas Minor, Turk Wendell, a very superstitious baseball player, Scott Cooper, John Roper, we have a Bobby Bonilla, and our signature card is Mike Gallego, silver, and Wayne Kirby, who is now the first base coach for the Mets, and Jimmy Key. So nothing too great there. All right. And now we're going to go over to 1990 Score. Again, looking for the Bo Jackson football, baseball, and Frank Thomas as the main 2 cards out of this set to look for. And we start off with Jerry Brown, Greg Minton, Tom Foley, Atlee Hammaker, Steve Buechele, Andy McGaffigan. We have Oakland A's World Series Game 4 win, Scott Scudder and Jim Gott, followed by Dave Parker, Gary Templeton, Dwayne Ward, Steve Jeltz, then Eric Anthony, who would have been a hot card to open up in 1990, Tino Martinez, and Bobby Rose. So with the Eric Anthony and the Tino Martinez rookies, those would have been a hot pack in 1990. All right, so now we're going to go with 1988 Donruss, looking for my first Roberto Alomar rookie, looking for Glavine and a few other cards out of the set. And we have Tommy Henzo, Jeff Hamilton, Steve Trout, Pat Sheridan, Al Nipper, Dave Stapleton, Jeff Ballard, followed by Billy Hatcher Diamond Kings, Mark Davidson, Rick Leach, Jerry Reed, Manny Trio, Craig Lefferts, Bob Walk, Frank Williams, and Jeff Blauser. That is a rookie card for Blauser. That's easily the best card in that pack, but not all that great. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1990 Topps in the hopes of the needle in the haystack of the very unlikely chance of getting a Frank Thomas no name on front. All right, and we start off with the Jeff Juden. There's a Cal Ripken record breaker, finally breaking the streak. Ed Whitted, Sergio Valdez, Mike Smith, Lance Blankenship, John Dobson, Kirby Puckett All-Star, propaganda piece, Ken Williams, Jeff King, Alan Trammell, Doug Drabeck, Will the Thrill Clark, Deion James, Andre Dawson, and Mike Gallego. So not a great pack, but some pretty nice names in that pack. All right, as we're moving on along, I'll go to 88 Fleer, still trying to find a Matt Williams or Edgar Martinez card. Have not pulled one out of the box yet, and we are getting close. And there's our Matt Williams, so finally broke that streak. We have Jeff Robinson, Mark Davis, Mike Young, Tim Leary, Tony Berzenard, Casey Kendall, Danny Tartable, Ron Oster, Paul Kilgus, Bob Ojeda, Bob Boone, Steve Bedrosian, Cecil Fielder, and Bill Wegman. So not a bad pack at all with the Matt Williams there. And we're down to our final two stacks here. We're going to go ahead and open up, let's open up the 94 Collector's Choice first. And we start off with the Mets team checklist. And these cards are sticking together a lot more than the other ones here. Still not bricked together though, but we start off with the Doc Gooden team checklist, Terry Mulholland, and we have Mariano Duncan, Chuck Carr, one of my favorite center fielders in the 90s, and we have Ricky Henderson, one of the best base stealers of all time, so two really good base stealers back to back, followed by Deion Sanders, another exciting outfielder. And we got two Deion Sanders in this pack. And we have Dan Pasqua, Eddie Murray, Jason Giambi, rookie. And our signature card is going to be Jeff Bagwell. Let's see if we get a gold or silver. It is a silver. So not a bad pack at all there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and open up the 1990 Leaf Series 1, looking for Ken Griffey Jr.'s, Sammy Sosa, among others. And we start off with Alvaro Espinoza, Scott Terry, Kent Herbeck, Bill Landrum, Dan Plesac, Jeff Parrott, Frank White, the dreaded checklist, Kevin McReynolds, Matt Noakes, Spike Owen, Joey Albert Bell, Kirk Gibson, Robin Ventura, Bill Doran, and Mark Langston. So the Ventura and the Joey Bell would have been good cards to open up in 1990. Not a great pack when you look at today's standards, but it would have definitely been good to open up back in 1990. And now we're going to go back a year. We'll just go ahead and open up the Bowman pack here. Still looking for more Griffies, but pulling one out of the pack last night. Don't really expect to see one in this one. But we have Ernest Riles, Johnny Ard. That is Bob Melvin, Mitch Williams, Rafael Palmeiro, Ken Howell, Jackie Robinson reprint card, Jody Davis, Hubie Brooks, Eric Plunk with that really bad almost unibrow, Mark Gubiza, Kevin McReynolds, and Larry Anderson. So nothing too great there. And 1990 Bowman, looking for Frank Thomas rookie. All right, and we start off with the Mark Davis art card, Gary Sheffield second year, Bill Doran, Walt Terrell, Fred Lynn, Jose De Leon, Phil Bradley, Tom Henke, Keith Miller, one of my favorite bench players. There's another Joey Bell, rookie. Darnell Coles, Mitch Williams, Ivan Calderon, Nelson Liriano, and Steve Lyons. Bell would have been a nice card to have in the past. All right, and then our final card of stack number 4. We go with the 91 Upper Deck, looking for the Musina and Chipper Jones rookies and Michael Jordan SP1 specifically. And we start off with Ted Power, have Robin Yount, Mark Leonard, Chris Johnson, who I don't remember ever hearing from other than the set, Sid Fernandez, Jim Gott. Our hologram is Cincinnati Reds, Ozzie Canseco, Tom Flash Gordon, another dreaded checklist, Norm Charlton, Al Newman, Jim DeShays, Pat Combs, Spanky LaValliere again, and our last one is Ron Robinson. So nothing too great there either. All right, so now we go to our final 4 packs. We're going to open up the Donruss. If you've watched my videos, you know I have horrible luck with the Griffies. Very few Griffies, considering how many boxes I've opened up in the past. My expectations of getting Griffey goes down every pack I open up here. But we have a Dave West, Larry McWilliams, Nelson Liriano, George Bell, Cecilio Guante, Barry Jones, Randy Reddy, Mike Gallego again, Craig Lefferts, Ron Darling, Ray Hayward, Deion James, Rex Hudler, Mike Bielecki, and Lance Blankenship. So Griffey once again eludes me. Not much in that pack at all. And now we're going to go with the 91 Bowman, looking for Chipper Jones, Jim Tomei, Mike Mussina, Ivan Rodriguez, Javi Lopez, among others, in the rookie cards. And we start off with Rod Carew, Vince Coleman, Will the Thrill Clark, Brent Smith, Todd Burns, Charles Nagy, Willie Banks, Mike Huff, Dan Peltier, another dreaded checklist, Kevin Elster, Doug Jones, Tony Longmire, and Chuck Knogblock. So some pretty big names there. And so now we're down to the 2 exciting packs. Really don't know which one to open up first, but I'm always going to have to say go with the Fleer last, since that is the error pack here. So we're going to go ahead and open up 86 Donruss, my first pack ever opening it up, and hopefully we'll get something good out of my first pack here. We have Spike Owen. There's a Jose Rijo. I believe that is his, I think he had an 85 card. George Foster, Gorman Thomas, Ron Davis, Brent Smith, Ozzie Virgil, Joe Orsulak, a very horribly cut Bruce Benedict, Leon Durham, Mike Heath, Bob Brindley, again, exciting for me. There's a Wade Boggs, Floyd Humans, and Buddy Bell. So some pretty big names there, but definitely not the 2 big ones out of the first pack here. All right, and our last pack tonight is going to be 89 Fleer, looking for the Griffey rookies, as well as the Bill Ripken error, and some other nice cards in the set. But we start off with Benny DeStefano, Mike Schooler, Jose De Leon, Bruce Hurst, Ozzie Guillen, Rob Dibble, Wallace Johnson, Mickey Brantley, Mike Aldretti, Guillermo Hernandez, Mike Sosha, Jeff Ballard, Mike Scott, Greg Hatteray, and Dickie Thon. So, in the words of descriptions, that pack sucked. So anyway, but thanks for stopping in. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Please support my page. I hope to see everybody back. I always enjoy coming back and seeing that other people have watched it. Please comment if you watch it. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and let me know who your favorite player is. But thanks for stopping in. Hope everybody has a great night.